Good morning, everybody, and once again on this Tuesday morning, the Paradise Express has pulled into the station, and I bid you to get on board as we take another little trip here this morning. I'm going to take the conductor's hat off, and now, this morning, as in the previous Tuesdays, I want to visit with you about the procedures, given that this coming Sunday we are once again opening the church for public worship. I know we're all very pleased that we're going to be able to have the possibility of gathering together again physically for the celebration of Mass, but there are going to be significant changes. And so the first thing that I would ask you to do is, there have been numbers of things posted on the parish website. You will, if you have not already, receive a special mailing from the parish. One of those contains a visual about just certain procedures that will be in place. Those same things are on the sign that's prominently displayed in the narthex. There will also be outside of the front doors of the church a sandwich board with those same highlights. I apologize for the fact that in proofing the mailing with those little visuals on it, it happens to the best of us, the word church got misspelled. So it was nothing deliberate. It was just something that trying to quickly proof something and get it off to the printer in time so that we could have it, it got missed. So I do know how to spell church. So please read and keep that information, particularly that sheet with the visuals. Just some other things that I want to remind you of, because as I said, there are significant changes that we have to implement. The first of which is the south driveway off of Hoover Avenue is now closed for weekend worship. There will be traffic cones there indicating that the south driveway and thus the south parking lot are also closed. Also, then entry into church by way of the south or north doors by the social hall. Those doors will be locked, so you will not be able to enter church through them. The restrooms located in the south hallway outside the social hall are also closed. Everyone is to enter the church through the main doors off the north parking lot. The entrances to the north parking lot will be closed 10 minutes before Mass begins to allow seating to be concluded and Mass to start on time. So you will need to plan to be here no later than 4:50 or 9:50. No walk-ins after Mass has begun will be allowed. Anybody who walks in after Mass has already begun will politely be asked to leave. Everyone ages 5 years of age and older must wear a mask. This is not a suggestion, it's required. Everyone ages 5 years and older must wear a mask. When you come into the main entrance of the church, there will be ushers there to direct you and escort you into the main worship space. You may have to wait for someone or ones in front of you to enter the main worship space, and there will be markings on the floor so that everyone can keep a distance of 6 feet between themselves and the next person or persons in front of them. The same will be true in the pews. The ushers will direct you to a place where you may be seated. Couples or families may sit together. Everyone else must keep 6 feet of distance between themselves and the next person in the pew. And we will be seated in every other pew in order that we can keep the social distance. Because the ushers will be taking you to a pew, you may not choose where you want to sit, except those persons with physical disabilities who wish to be seated in the designated pews, as we've always had them on the north and south sides in the front of the church. So once again, you will not be able to choose the pew in which you are seated. You'll be seated as you arrive in that order. The ushers will also direct the procession for Holy Communion. Markers have been placed in the aisles to keep 6 feet of distance between persons during the communion procession. They will direct you how to proceed to the communion minister and then the way in which you are to return to your place. Holy Communion will be received in the hand only, standing. No kneeling or genuflecting in front of the communion minister. Let me repeat that. Holy Communion will be received in the hand only, standing. No kneeling or genuflecting in front of the communion minister. At the end of Mass, wait in your pew until the ushers designate your pew to exit. There is to be no socializing before or after Mass in the narthex. You come in directly from your vehicle and you leave the building immediately after Mass to return to your vehicle and go home. And finally, no printed liturgy aids are to be brought in by you for Masses at any time, and that would include publications such as Magnificat, Give Us This Day, or some of you I know have a smaller edition of the Roman Missal, or a Bible. None of that may be carried into the worship space. Obviously, some changes not only in style, but of substance. Change is always difficult for us to accommodate ourselves to. We all become comfortable with our routines. But when we come to Mass, we come together as the body of Christ. We leave our individual preferences at home. We are at Mass, as I said, the body of Christ. And we need, as the body of Christ, first of all, to keep the welfare of our brothers and sisters in that body as our first priority. Our own preferences take a back seat. So thank you for your attention this morning. I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible this weekend. Once again, I sincerely urge those of you who are elderly or those who have pre-existing health issues to please consider staying home and watching or participating in Mass via the live stream feed. We will be live streaming the Mass from the main church on Sundays and then beginning next week on weekdays as well. This is for not only your safety, but for the safety of all of us. Let us continue to pray for one another during these days. God bless you.